Dear Diary, today is the 25th of July, 2026. It is 9:30 p.m. right now, nighttime. Today, I'm gonna be talking about life after high school. Does it get any better? Well, short answer, that just depends on you, on your personal experience with life, if you have anything in your mind that you want to pursue as a future career or not. I cannot answer for you, but I can answer for myself, and you will be the one to determine it. So here we go. I am 19 years old, and at school, I wasn't the best student in class. I was very lazy, to say the least. I didn't really care about academics. I didn't really care about pursuing a future. The idea of becoming 18 and graduating high school was just insane to witness. I didn't believe that I would be alive until then. And turns out I was alive when I graduated. My personal experience with high school was not bad. I was semi popular. I wasn't bullied. I wasn't even picked on by other students. But I wasn't the kind of kid that would hang out with people after school, except for my only friend group that I used to be around with. That one friend group. I would be okay with almost every single student in school, but you wouldn't see me hang out with them after school. That's for sure. Though I was a slacker, I was too lazy to endure myself with any sort of education. I did graduate high school with decent grades, but I didn't really care enrolling into a university. Both of my parents were trying to motivate me to study. They weren't forcing me, but they just wanted me to do something with my life. They didn't want me to be broke poor. They didn't want me to, you know, live in poverty, basically. They didn't want me to have my future life wasted, which I'm grateful for their concern, but that concern couldn't move me to do anything about my own laziness, which is the worst thing about me. I am a very lazy person. If I won't do something, I'm not going to do it. If I won't have the courage to do anything, I'm not going to do it. Which is really sad. I cannot force myself to do stuff that I don't find purpose on it, even if they are very important, to say the least. My senior year in high school was probably the best year of my life because I didn't have anything to be concerned about, any, all that adult stuff. I was not concerned about it. I didn't care. Luckily, I had to be in the same class with my best friend, which was actually a huge surprise, to say the least. And I was all the more excited because what we did all year was nothing. We would just watch anime mid-class, read physical copies of mangas that we had bought online or in person, and we would just sit on the last row, the last desk. We didn't care. The teachers knew that we didn't care. We didn't have any interest in their subjects. Even though we weren't erupting their classes, we weren't being nuisances, annoying, or whatever you want to put it as. Because, of course, there were kids who wanted to learn, right? Therefore, we didn't really cause any trouble. We just didn't care. Um, and then graduation finally came, May of 2025. I was really happy to just see that my school days finally come to an end. A dream come true, something that I've been waiting for ever since I was a kid. I remember myself when I was a child saying, I cannot wait until I graduate. I cannot wait until the school days finally end. And now that they ended, what did I learn from it? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Now that I've graduated from high school, I had to somehow enroll myself into a university. I did do that. I am a student in a technical school, a private technical school specifically. And I haven't even attended one whole semester because I was skipping due to work and because since it's a private university, since I pay for this shit, they don't care as long as I don't show up. They care only if I show up to give my exams for any semester and to continue my tuition, to pay for it. And now I regret making this decision to enroll into such a university because when I made my choice, I didn't have time to think for it a lot. It was September. My mom was like, you gotta decide something, you gotta choose something. We don't have much time. You gotta get yourself enrolled. Otherwise, that's just gonna be one wasted year. And I said, fine. I guess we could go with being a refrigerant technician. That's what I chose. That's my major. Because I didn't know what I had in my mind. I thought it was a seemingly easy blue-collar job. When I got myself enrolled, I tried attending for the first 3 months. But I was lucky enough to have a relative studying at the same university as me. And he would tell me stuff like, man, don't bother showing up every day. They don't really care, right? I'm telling you about this. I know better since he was a year older than me. I just followed. It was like, well, if you say so, that's easier for me. Easier said than done. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to start skipping. I did start skipping, and they just called me once. They called my phone. They were like, hey, man, where have you been? It's like, I've been sick and all that. I was like, oh, okay, good. I thought something happened and you just didn't want to show up anymore. I was like, nah, don't get this idea. And they never called. That was for the first semester. Then, first semester comes to an end, and we had to give exams. Fine. Examination was done. I passed, obviously by cheating. They didn't really care if you cheated or not. And everything was fine. After the exams, we had 2 weeks of worth of break, right? 2 weeks after exams break, which was awesome. And before the second semester begun for me, I got offered a job. My mom randomly walked in one day in my room and she was like, I know someone who's looking for an employee. And I was like, what kind of job are we talking about? She said that it was a blue collar job. And, blue collar jobs often pay enough money. And since I was living with my parents, I wasn't concerned about the pay. I was like, well, it's going to be enough regardless. I'm going to be settled no matter the amount of money that I will be receiving. I don't really have anything to pay. I don't really have any bills to pay. So I just went along. I was like, fine, okay. I will go talk to the guy and I'll see. Long story short, we meet. I meet with my then boss. I get hired, and he was a plumber. He was working by himself, and he was just looking at an employee to help him. I was like, fine, okay, sure. I'll get to learn some stuff about being a blue collar, and that's that. I get to work for a few months until June, and I quit. I didn't like the job. It was too tiring, too much of labor, and that job basically killed my remaining social life that I used to have, which was a huge pity. I didn't have much time to talk with my friends, and once you don't really talk with someone, they're gonna move on, find new friends, and yeah, it's over. I basically killed my social life by working to the point where I wouldn't even check my phone for any notifications whatsoever. Negative notifications on my phone. Now, someone would say, what about the people in high school that you used to be okay with? You know, because you said that you didn't have any problem with other high school students. Well, I didn't want to have anyone in my contacts. I wasn't really interested in doing so. So yeah, basically, I killed my social life that way. Now I am unemployed. I'll probably get a job at some point again. Pretty much. And we will see. I don't think it's not gonna be blue collar. I I don't want to work that section ever again. Even though I have to do it to get my diploma, to get my degree from my university. Even though I don't like my university, I don't like my major, I'm just gonna do it because it's wasted money. And I don't want to make my mom, especially, sad about that. I want to get things done. And I explained to her, I'm going to get that degree no matter what. But if I don't like it, I'll choose something for myself and I'll try to pursue it. Well, so yeah. For you people out on the internet, if you ever feel like your time is running out to pursue a career, to find yourself, to be someone, don't think that way. And I can give you an example about that. My sibling is in her 20s, right? My sister is in her 20s. Back when she was 18 years old, she enrolled into a public university out from high school examinations. She wasn't really satisfied with the results, but she tried going along. Her major was philosophy. Eventually, she quit. She didn't like it. So she kept on having a job, and now, throughout this school year, she started pursuing the thing that she likes, which I'm really proud of. And that taught me a lesson. It's never late. It's never late to do something with your life. Because being 18 in this generation and having to pick a career, start a new life, be responsible for yourself, it's just too much. Too much difficult. I don't know how our parents managed to do it or our grandparents. I don't know how they managed to do that, but times change. Everything changes over time. It's never late to find yourself, no matter the age that you are, right? That's why we live. That's what we live for, to learn. Knowledge is power, right? Even in personal experiences, you gotta learn. Even though I didn't like working blue collar, I did learn a few things here and there. It was a joy. It was something that I was okay with. Now, why did I quit the job? I quit working as a plumber. Excuse me. I quit working as a plumber because the pay was too low. It wasn't really worth working that money for hard labor in this generation. And I just didn't like it. I started growing to hate working plumbing. It was just not my thing. I didn't like it. I was getting paid $30 per day. I would barely make $200 per week. Even though I live with my parents, that money is fine, supposedly. Yet it's not enough. It's not enough. If I was getting 50, I would consider to keep working there. I wouldn't quit, probably. Probably. I probably wouldn't quit. Who knows? But 30 is just too low. Too low to begin with. Well, that's life for you. And here's my final answer. Here's what I have to say about life after high school. Does it get any better? For me, it didn't get any better. It got worse. I was carefree. I had multiple friends. I had so much going on. I even had multiple choices to start a dating life, start my love life. But I didn't even get to do that because I was too much of a coward, because I was afraid of trying out dating people. I just couldn't do it. Now I have nothing. I have no one. I'm pretty much isolated. It hurts. It is very miserable being that alone. I mean, you get used to it at some point, but every once in a while, that loneliness is going to sting very badly. Well, I was very unlucky in my dating life because I was scared of nothing. I was scared of just dating. I just didn't know how it would go, if I would be a nice person in the dating world. I was very weirded out by that whole thing. And I just screwed everything up, and here I am. So, with my personal experience, life does not get better after high school. Well, at least for now. Now that I've graduated, it might get better at some point. Who knows? I hope so, right? Probably. But if remain being such a loser, like how I am right now, man, I don't know what am I going to do with it. Yeah, it's just going to get tired. It's just going to get tiring at some point or another. So that was today's diary. I just talked my thing out. Well, for some other people, life after high school might be a lot better, right? Yeah, obviously, absolutely. But for me, no. I thought it would be better, but it became so much miserable. To the point where I feel miserable myself. Well, that was today's diary. Thank you a lot for tuning in and listening. I'm going to make another diary at some point again, too. See you guys. Goodbye.